I'm going to... Oh no, this might stain quite a bit. Oh shit, oh shit. Going everywhere. Don't know where it's from, don't know how to say it. I'm not even gonna try. Today's video, I'm gonna be talking about BTZ, Below the Zone, Senior Airman Below the Zone. I recently was just selected for it and it's fresh in my mind, so I thought I'd make a video of it because I was trying to find videos that was more current and up to date, and there weren't many, so I thought maybe I could make a video and educate some of y'all. If you're in the military, so I'm in the Air Force. If you're new here, I'm in the Air Force, and basically I just went up for early promotion and ended up receiving it and competing with all these other people. Anyway, so there's different portions of BTZ that I want to talk about, because some of the other videos that I was watching, I was trying to look up specific like procedures for BTZ, like literally when I, like how I walk in the room, how I knock on the door and shit like that. And I was finding just different portions of BTZ in these videos, and I was like, I don't need this. I need how to literally knock on the door and walk up to the... Anyways, so in my little notebook that I was taking notes with, I put this BTZ video, and I'm gonna put this BTZ video in 3 parts. One part being the package, being selected and leading up to the day, and then the actual Senior Airman Below the Zone board. First part, the package. That's honestly your most important part, because that is what determines whether you receive a chance to go up against all these people or not. I can't really speak too much on it because I didn't put it together, like I didn't literally type it up and send it through. I just gave my supervisor my points that I thought would be good for me. You're sending your supervisor these bullets of what you've done. I'm a firefighter, right? And some of the things that I've done in my career so far are fight so-and-so wildlands, helped with a labor, and things like that. So anything that you've done for your job would be good to put down. Also, they love numbers. I don't even know who I'm talking about when I say they, but like the people that choose your packets, I guess, love numbers. So when I was writing one of my wildland bullets, put out wildland that burned 500 and something acres and saved a $1.3 billion infrastructure, something like that. Then drastic probably sounds a lot crazier than it actually is, but that's just how it is and how they like to see it. Volunteering, you need to do quite a bit of volunteering. I volunteered at a few places for an extended period of time, and again, they love numbers, so they're like, how many hours did you help for? How many people did it affect? In what area? And yada yada yada. With your package, you should discuss with your supervisor and how to do that. And then schooling is a big one. So I personally didn't have any schooling on my package. A big one. I've heard a lot of people be one-upped by another person, and that person ended up getting BTZ because they had more schooling. So schooling is a big one. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the package. Being selected and leading up to the interview day. Make sure your blues are ready. My blues are not ready and I was panicking. I mean, your blues are supposed to be ready at all times anyways, but I mean, whose is really? My service coat was too big on me, so I literally had to go get it tailored the day before. I didn't have any of my civil engineering badges, so I had to go buy those, which are stupid expensive, by the way. $33 for my like silver badge that goes on the outside of my service coat. Sheesh. So yeah, make sure your blues are looking good, dry cleaned, and all that. What you need to study is really all dependent on which base you're at, because my base, I was asked no like Air Force questions, and I was told to study like chain of command and Air Force birthday, core values, obviously, Airman's Creed, things like that. And none of that was asked in my BTZ board. Yours might be different, so don't not study is what I'm saying. There's a lot of Quizlets out there that you can study. I definitely did that. Literally just type online Senior Airman Below the Zone study guide, and a lot of things will pop up. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the entry procedures of the board. So physically being there and what you have to do to get to the chair that you're going to sit in. I know it sounds easy, but I was freaking out. Honestly, this was the most part of that I was freaking out about, that I had to do an entry procedure because I didn't know up until like the last second. So what most bases, hopefully, would do is you're gonna do one loud knock on the door and you're gonna wait for them to say enter. I'm sure this is all sounding familiar from back in like basic or whatever. Then you're gonna walk. You're gonna march, but you're gonna take the most direct route to the chair. And once you get in front of the chair, do whatever facing movements you need to do to face the middle person. So in my board, I'm not sure if this is like universal or what, but at my board there were 5 people, and the middle person is the president of the board. So that's the person that you're going to face and kind of center yourself. So if you have to do that little shuffle thing, you know, to center yourself in front of that person, by all means do it. And you're going to say your reporting statement. I also did not know that this was a thing until the very last second. Basically, there's a few things that you can say. You can say sir or ma'am, or call them by their like actual rank and name if you know it. But me being the type of person that will stutter under pressure, I just went with sir or ma'am. So you'll go sir, ma'am, Airman First Class blank reports to the Senior Airman Below the Zone board as directed. I was told to say as directed and not as reported. So again, you're gonna center yourself on her and say, sir, ma'am, Airman First Class blank reports to the Senior Airman Below the Zone board as directed. Or if that's too long for you and you know you're gonna fuck up your words when you're in front of the person, all I said was sir, ma'am, Airman Krueger reports as ordered, which is, I wish I said the longer version, but I hadn't practiced it and I knew I was gonna stutter over my words like crazy, so I just went with the easy version. But if you can study up on the longer version, it just sounds better and it just sticks out. So after you've said that, you're going to wait until he or she tells you to sit down. But yeah, you're gonna be at attention, and then they're gonna be like, welcome, Airman First Class Krueger, thank you so much for joining us today. Please take a seat. And then you're going to sit nicely basically sit at attention. Your heels together, your back is straight, shoulders down, and your palms on your thighs like this. And then they're just gonna start talking to you and asking you some questions. Introduction. So once you sit down, they're gonna introduce all of themselves, and then they're gonna say that you have a chance to introduce yourself. So you're gonna give them a brief summary of who you are, what you do, what your job is, and things like that. Try to practice it beforehand unless you're really good at talking like on the spot. I definitely wrote my introduction out before because I'm not good at just thinking on the fly. Now, I already said before, when it comes to questions, I don't know what type of questions they're gonna ask. But I don't know if I should say or not. Basically, I guess I'll let you know what questions from what I remember what they asked me. So one of the board members asked why I joined the Air Force. Another board member asked, and be honest with them. Hopefully if they're cool board members, they'll make you feel comfortable. My board members definitely made me feel comfortable. They cracked a few jokes. We all laughed a bit. Also, here's another thing. When you're sitting at attention, if somebody asks you a question, you are allowed to move your head around on a swivel, but don't move anything else like your shoulders. Keep everything else in place, but you can move your head around. And then when you're answering their questions, make sure to look at all of them, not just the one person that asked the question. Another one asked me about one of my experiences of a bullet that I had. So they asked me about the labor that I helped out with, and so I just kind of described to them what had happened, what it was like, what I did, and who I helped, yada yada yada. Honestly, they're just really wanting to know who you are and what you've done. The last question, he asked me, knowing the 3 core values, integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all you do, what would be the 4th core value that you would add on to it? Oh boy, that question threw me for a loop. I literally sat there in silence. Well, at first I said, sir, thank you for that question. That's a very good question. Because I was just kind of stalling. I was trying to get the ball rolling in my head, but I couldn't think of anything. So I sat there in silence for a little bit longer. Probably a good 7 seconds. And 7 seconds in silence when 5 people are staring at you is a long ass time. Anyway, so I was kind of looking around. I like looked up at the ceiling and I was just like, And I said again, I was like, sir, that's a very good question. Also, when the board members ask you a question, try to say their name and rank and say thank you for your question. It just kind of shows them a bit of respect. And you know, I blurted out my answer. I'm not gonna say it here because I want you to think about it. I mean, it is a good question. I blurted out whatever I did and they were like nodding their head and they started writing down shit, and I was like, okay, maybe I did good, maybe that was a good answer. I don't know. The president will start to say, thank you, ma'am, for your time and for letting us interview you. We're gonna let you have time to say anything that you want to say, and basically, yeah. And then they're like, take it away. And me looking at all the other videos that I watched, I knew to thank them for their time and for allowing you to be there and for the opportunity. So I said exactly that. And it's good to mention that, I mean, if you end up not getting the award anyway, you still will be the best airman that you can be and things like that. After that's over and after you've said your conclusion, and then they're like, all right, and then they stand up, you stand up at attention, and again, take the most direct route out the door. But and then when you're opening the door, try to make it look as graceful as possible, because there's not really a way to like open and close the door in a military way. But just do it as graceful as possible. And yeah, after that you are done. And you'll probably be sweating bullets like I was. I had to get my whole uniform dry cleaned because it was soaked. Let's say that. I had swamp ass. TMI, I'm sorry. It's true. After your interview's complete, usually from what I've heard, usually they'll let you know within 2 to 5 days. But for me, I literally waited for, I think, a week and a half, and I thought I didn't get it. Yeah, so hopefully it'll only take 2 to 5 days for you guys to know. And I'm sure if you ask whoever, they'll let you know. Oh, also during the interview, it was the second to last person that was asking me a question, and he was like, Airman Krueger, you made me lose a bet. And I was like, okay. I'm sorry. He's like, yeah, just to let you know, you made me lose a bet. And I was like, I'm sorry, sir. And then they're gonna ask you at the end if you want to ask any questions or say any concluding statements. And I should have asked what the bet was about. I really want to know what the bet was about. I was assuming that it was my uniform. Some part of my uniform was wrong, but I don't know. I guess I'll never know. I hope you found this video helpful, and if any of you are going up for BTZ, let me know. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try and answer any questions you have to the best of my ability. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.